What's up, everyone? I'm Don of Well Crafted Living. Come with me as we finish building out this kitchen. If you just discovered this channel, I'm the guy that recently left his corporate job, risked everything in the pursuit of my own business. And we're currently in the Northslope project where I will be building out a house for a vacation rental room by room, but there's still quite a bit of work left to do, and so I'll be bringing you along for the ride, starting first with the kitchen. First order of business is addressing an issue that has bothered me since the day we had this refrigerator delivered. And that is, it sticks out way too much. I really don't like how it looks, as well as it kind of blocks your visibility into these cabinets here on the side, which are going to be your predominant pantry storage. And then also, it's going to address a mistake that I made, which is I didn't set these cabinets quite tall enough so I can't open the door all the way. And I just can't live with this. So what I'm going to be doing is taking out the refrigerator, unmounting these cabinets, and then building out some box frames behind the cabinets so that way they'll sit a little bit more flush with the refrigerator, as well as addressing this mistake of them not being quite high enough so that way everything opens as it should. All right, everything's apart, so it's time to head to the shop to build out those box frames. We're in my shop. I've got some lumber here that I need to cut down to make some box frames that will sit behind the cabinets to be able to push them out about 5.5 inches further from the wall and make it so the reveal against the refrigerator just looks a little bit more custom. So let's get right to it. All right, we're back. It's gotten a little darker outside, also a little colder, but I've had a chance to get this lumber down to the size that I need, as well as get my workout in and have a bite to eat. So I've laid this out so you can get an idea of how it's going to be when I have it mounted up on the wall. This is going to be for the cabinet that's above the refrigerator, and this is going to be for the pantry that's going to be on the left side of the refrigerator. As you can see of these side rails, I have it at 5.5 inches, which is how much further these cabinets are going to sit off the wall to give this a much better reveal on the fridge. So let's get these together and mounted, and then we'll call it a night. All right, I've got the boxes mounted against the wall. They're ready to receive cabinets, and all I need to do now is get a longer hose line to ensure that I can pull the fridge far enough back to be able to get behind it, given that everything now is going to be about 5.5 inches further from the wall than it was previously. It's about 11 p.m. on a Friday evening, so I'll see you tomorrow. It's another day at the Northslope project, and today we're going to get these cabinets mounted. But what I need to do first is actually cut these rails down to size to accommodate these new boxes that I created. So that way, the trim pieces that I'll have going around the fridge will go all the way back to the wall. And if I were to have one continuous piece, it would block that. So I need to cut those down. So come with me and we'll get that done. Even though multi-tool wasn't my first choice, it did the trick and everything came out really good. I'm happy with the cuts. And in case you're wondering, I was able to grab the longer hose for the fridge, so I'll get that mounted up too. Let's get going. No leaks, good. All right, the cabinets are up and it's looking really good so far. I need to push the refrigerator in and mount the doors so that way I can double check that everything aligns the way that I want it to. And then assuming that it does, we can get into the finish work. All right, I've got the refrigerator in place and the cabinets temporarily mounted. So now we can check fit. And I have to say, I'm really happy with how this is looking. So if you remember when this project started, these cabinets sat a little bit too low to be able to fully open. And as you can see, they articulate to their full range of motion, which I'm very happy with. And then also they sat a little bit further back, about 5.5 inches to be exact. And I really like this reveal. So this is going to look so much cleaner. I also feel that this pantry area is a little bit less hidden. And I think just overall is going to look so much better once we trim it out, which is what we're going to do now. So let's get to it. All right, I've got the right side of the finished edge that's going to go alongside the refrigerator and cabinet to really give it that finished look. I'm going to use my track saw to cut along the length of this to rip this down. And then once we ensure that it's the proper width, then we'll go ahead and measure out the height. We'll get that cut and then we'll have part one done. Got my width down to the size that I want. Now I'm going to cross cut the top edge so that way it will have the reveal that I'm looking for. It's a new day. I got a couple of things done off camera. Let me get you caught up real fast. So the first thing I did is I installed this strip here that covers the gap between the edge of the cabinet and the wall. I had to scribe everything because the wall isn't perfectly flat. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. There's no caulking in place and there's really no visible gap. Also installed the drawers and then this plate that goes on the floor to accommodate for the additional 2 inches that I had to raise everything up so that way the legs function properly. And now you can see what it was all about, the reveal. So I have the refrigerator pushed all the way back and you can just see how much better it looks than previous. So much more built in and less obvious of their fridge sticking out way further than everything else. So all I have left to do now is finish trimming out this section as well as the toe kicks. I've already cut everything down, so let's get to it. All right, I just want to take a moment and celebrate how well this turned out. I'm really, really pleased with the refrigerator surround, and it is pretty much done. All I have left to do is do a little bit of finish up around the bottom in terms of the toe kick, as well as install the hardware and adjust the doors so that way they align just perfectly. But right now, I'm really, really pleased with how this looks. If you remember, these cabinets were recessed back about 5.5 inches, which really, to me, made this refrigerator feel like it had too much of a jet out, which made it look a little bulky, also like really not purpose for the space. And so really pleased with taking all this time to really fix this issue as well as give it this final look. So now on to the toe kicks, and this is all about done. For this kitchen, we are using IKEA kitchen cabinets with semi-handmade drawer fronts. If you've never heard of semi-handmade, they're based in the United States and they create custom options for IKEA kitchen systems. So far, everything has been very similar in terms of how everything goes together, with one exception, and that is the toe kick. With the IKEA system, they have a vinyl piece that has these grooves that accommodate their clips that attach to the leg, so you can move everything around till it's just right and then put it in place. With semi-handmade, the toe kick itself is just a smooth board. So I'm not sure really the best way to clip it, but I have an idea. And what I'm gonna do is apply some glue to the clip, put the clip in place, and then line up the board and then attach it. And that should give me the point of where it needs to be.
At the beginning of this, I was somewhat reluctant to fixing this mistake. I had spent so much time to get to this point, and I didn't want to take such a big step back for such a subtle change in how it looks and fixing a cabinet that may or may not ever be used. But one thing I've learned is these small changes can make all the difference when all the things come together in the end. So I'm happy I made this choice, even though it cost me all this time, and allowed me to go forward in making this kitchen as good as I can make it. So stay tuned for the next episode as we bring this kitchen one step closer for being ready for guests.